Hello everyone, I'm Chun Ho-yeom from University of Seoul. Today, we will study the public transportation system in Korea, focusing on the Seoul bus system. Today's lecture starts with a vision and goal, followed by an overview of Seoul, a summary of Seoul's transportation, the history of the Seoul's public transportation, and so on. Seoul's public transportation system has remarkably improved since 2004, when the city reorganized its entire public transportation system. It has become one of the world's most sought-after public transport services in terms of convenience, safety, punctuality, and economic efficiency. The system has three distinctive visions focusing on humanity, sharing, and the environment, which pursue people-centered, environmentally conscious transportation. Seoul's public transportation system also aims to achieve 80% of green transportation by 2030. Green transportation implies public transit, walking, and cycling, connected through three intervening visions. Let me begin with a geographical overview of the Korean peninsula, Seoul, and its metropolitan areas. The city of Seoul is roughly 605 kilometers squared, taking up only 0.6% of South Korea's land mass. However, it houses around 20% of the total population. This tells us that Seoul is probably a very crowded area with a lot of congestion. The metropolitan areas also face the same situation. They occupy only 12% of South Korea's landmass, but almost half of the total population lives in these areas. Here, you can see an overview of Seoul in terms of its population and transportation availability. Around 10 million people live in Seoul, with approximately 3 million vehicles. There are more than 7,000 buses and around 7,200 taxis in Seoul. Regarding the mode share of public transportation, the subway takes up the highest share with around 37%. Bus and passengers' car have around 20-something% mode share, followed by the taxi service, which accounts for around 7% of mode share. Based on this diagram, you can see that the subway and bus are the major public transportation in Seoul. Next, allow me to explain a brief history of Seoul's public transportation. In the 1960s, the public transportation system was developed around bus-centered road transport. In 1965, the operation of express buses began. In the 1970s, Seoul started operating its subway system. In 1971, the Seoul Transport Master Plan was figured out. And in 1974, Subway Line 1 opened. In the 1980s, Seoul struggled with traffic congestion. And in 1984, the 5-year Seoul Transportation Improvement Plan was concluded. In 1985, Subway Line 2, 3, and 4 also opened. In the 1990s, Seoul had to manage overwhelming travel demand. In 1990, Seoul launched its secondary stage subway lines. In 1993, Seoul introduced the exclusive bus lane system. In the 2000s, Seoul tried to promote its public transportation. And in 2004, the public transportation system was reformed. In 2005, the Cheonggyecheon Stream was restored, further promoting the public transportation. In the 2010s, Seoul instituted more eco-friendly, environmental, and efficient transport policies. In 2010, the electric buses made their debut in Seoul. In 2014, the concept of a transit board was introduced. From now on, we will be looking into the bus route system of Seoul after going through the public transportation reform that occurred in 2004. Before the public transportation reform, the buses used to be classified into city buses, express buses, regional circular buses, community buses, and interregional buses. After the reform, buses were classified into 4 types with color-coded blue, green, yellow, and red, so the citizens could easily distinguish them. Here, blue buses represent a trunk line, green buses represent a feeder line, yellow buses represent a circular line, and red buses represent an interregional line. Here are the roles of each bus by color. And this table shows the current bus and route information. The total number of buses in Seoul is around 7,500 from 66 bus operating companies. It also has roughly 360 routes that cover almost all the metropolitan areas. This image shows Seoul's exclusive medium bus lane system, or Bus Rapid Transit, BRT. Along with reform in bus routes, the Seoul Metropolitan Government, SMG, introduced the exclusive medium bus lane system, or Bus Rapid Transit, BRT, in 2004. Since then, the bus service has become faster and more efficient. The SMG has continued to expand its BRT network, focusing on punctuality, faster service, and highest level of convenience for the citizens. The exclusive medium bus lane system also means that the buses are given traffic priority on the roads. Medium bus stops have reinforced passengers' convenience and safety with their comfortable shelters, the cutting-edge bus information system. The SMG has already installed BRT of 220 kilometers or above, with more than 330 median lane bus stops in Seoul. The map shows that major arterials connecting the central business district are being operated with the BRT system in Seoul. The BRT system shows an improvement in the average bus travel speed of around 30%. In this sense, it clearly represents the public transportation-focused policy in Seoul. Now, I'd like to elaborate on the quasi-public bus operating system in Seoul. Initially, private bus companies' selective bus operating on the profitable routes was a great concern for the SMG, as it was against the public interest and further deteriorated the quality of the bus service. To address this problem, the SMG introduced the quasi-public bus operating system in which Seoul manages the bus routes and the revenues while private companies operate the buses. In the previous condition, all revenues were collected by the individual bus companies. The revenue was based on the ridership, so bus companies often suspended unprofitable routes. Additionally, excessive competition among bus companies was making it hard to expect high-quality services. However, in the condition with the quasi-public operation, the revenues were jointly managed by the SMG and bus companies. The revenue was not based on the ridership, but the service distance as well as satisfactory feedback from the citizens. The SMG also provided subsidies for offset losses from the unprofitable routes. After all, the entire service quality of buses has greatly improved. This is an integrated transit fare system in Seoul. Through the reform enacted in 2004, the SMG has integrated all the public transportation payment system into one that covers Seoul itself and the entire metropolitan areas. Moreover, it charges passengers based on the total travel distance instead of the number of trips. Previously, different modes of transportation charged for trips independently rather than based on the person's total travel distance. The new payment system has reduced citizens' transportation costs considerably. For example, if we take 3 different transit services from subway, bus to subway, you had to pay a total of 3,951 in the previous condition. However, after the reform, now you can pay only 2,451, reducing 38% compared to the previous condition. The citizens can enjoy the benefits of this system with a maximum of 2 transfers at a time. As a result of the public transportation reform, the status of the public transportation ridership is in quite good condition. Especially in the case of the bus, before the reform, the bus service struggled with decreasing ridership. However, after the reform in 2004, the bus ridership did not decrease anymore. It even increased a little bit. The bus route reform also resulted in positive effects in terms of the mobility and accessibility. The bus operating speed improved from 17.2 km per hour to 18.1 km per hour after the reform. The number of subway stations connected per route also increased from 9.7 to 10.3. As a result, citizen satisfaction level with the reorganized public transportation service kept rising and even reached 7.5 on a scale of 0 to 10 in 2012. We can see a sharp increase in the citizens' satisfactory level after the reform in 2004. So in this lecture, we have learned how the SMG developed public transportation system focusing on bus service in Seoul. I hope you have found it a meaningful opportunity to learn and to understand the bus system of Seoul, Korea. Thank you all for your attention.